Hello and welcome to Stephen Allen, Almost Daily. I'm Stephen Allen. It's a day. What more do you want? Welcome along. This is the streaming show where I go through some news stuff. You can get involved in the chat as well, youtube.com/@Mr. Stephen Allen. Sorry, I just realised, due to the financial way that this show is funded, I have not been able to buy more energy drinks. Stay there. I've got coffee on the go. I can't moan, it's an espresso. I can't really cry too much, but just made myself a coffee. Welcome along. ASMR. Get yourself in the chat, which seems to be the weird place, if I'm brutally honest. Chat's gone weird. Let's see what's happening over here, shall we? I'm going to have to go a little bit higher up than you can see here. Squirrel was first, straight out of the traps. Kermit turned up second. And what else we got going? A lot of Kermit just saying very strange things about dirty donkeys. Listen, I'm not here to besmirch the good names of donkeys. But they've suffered enough. Imagine being an animal where basically your nickname is ass. It's like naming your kid Richard. It's the dumb things. Proper Memes is here. Turd. Thank you for the thumbnail today, Proper Memes. Squirrel says, I was going to say about being first at the same time last week and pattern recognition, but my little squirrel claws must need clipping because it came out as panty recognition. Both are useful skills. I mean, that's quite the superpower, isn't it? Imagine if you were one of the X-Men, and what's your you would not be like Omega level. What's your superpower? I can recognize pants. Yeah. And I don't suppose that's just like their pants. I think you'd be like, I know those pants from somewhere. That kind of pant recognition. Who else is here as well? Joodles is here. Is everyone on drugs today? It's looking that way, isn't it? And then Joodle says, I don't have panties. More on that story later. What's that they say? Pictures or it didn't happen? I'm not sure you can't post them in chat, can you? M says Joodle, help, they've all gone bat. Beep. They have. Oh, and then someone was talking about, Proper Meme says, did you see the clip Farage just posted? A woman was driving by in a car and yelled beep at Farage and crashed into the car ahead of her. Yep. Instant karma. It's just not good driving, is it? Charlotte's here as well saying hello. Seb's here. Good afternoon, Steve. How have you been this week? Hope you're well. I didn't do very well at getting to sleep after last night's show, so I'm on not a lot of sleep. Be right. Kermit says Accrington Stanley for no good reason, and I think we're up to date. Proper Memes. I couldn't join on Tuesday as I got a ride to pick up my car from the shop. On the way back, did you shout anything at any politicians? Because that can invalidate your insurance. Anyway, so you're up to date. Get stuck into the chit chat over here. There it is. YouTube.com/@Mr. Stephen Allen. More on that later, I'm sure. But I guess we have to start off today's show with a look at the front pages. Front pages. We start today with a look at the Times. Prison chaos as Burnham calls halt to early release. I mean, good. Good. I'm starting to think, so in case you don't know what's happening, there was this scheme. There's not enough prison spaces because we've got a lot of criminals and not a lot of ability to build buildings. There are more criminals than there are builders. I don't know if that's a fact, but it seems like it's held up by the logic of this, doesn't it? Because we can't build enough prisons for all the criminals. What happens if you make the criminals build buildings? Like Labour, well, obviously, what they'll do then is just leave a lot of doors around. You know, the hinges would be on the right. It would be a stupid idea. What kind of a stupid idea is it to get prisoners to build prisons, you idiot? So anyway, so there's not enough space for all the prisoners, but they've been letting them out for ages now. This is the weird world that we live in. They've got all these people who are guilty of criminals and stuff. Let's just let them on the street, see what happens. I mean, I think we can guess. But what are you going to do about it? There's no space. This is not a case of anyone saying these people are safe to be let out. This is a case of people saying we have run out of room. So off they go. It's about 25% recidivism rate, so they'll be back in soon enough. By then we might have built some prisons, but we won't. Meanwhile, Burnham may be halting this. Good. This is one of those where you just got to take the win. In fact, a lot of the things Burnham's been doing, I think you just have to take the win. So today is about live venues, music venues, pubs, things like that are going to be helped out with business rates. I'm taking the win. Of course I'm taking the win. I do stand-up comedy for my main earnings. So good. We've been saying for ages pubs are being hit by too many additional costs, and now one of those is getting cut. Would you want more? Of course you would, but maybe you should be grateful about this. Do you want the idea of prisoners not being released early? Yeah, Brill, he's doing that one. Do I want cheaper bus fares? I don't give two flips. A £2, I tell you what, the £2 cap on bus fares, given that I regularly go on the bus to keep my kids entertained, and that bus trip cost me £2.10. That 10p, baby. Let's change it. For a minute there, I thought I wasn't going to be doing well financially. That 10p's got me sorted. That cost more than 10p. But I'll take it. I'll take the win. What was the other one that he kicked off at the traps? Homelessness. I'm not homeless yet, and I don't think I will be with that 10p. And there was another one as well. What was the other one? I can't. It doesn't matter now. Basically, loads of these things are Andy Burnham trying to win points. Surely we're seeing the pattern, aren't we? All of these, the things that the Daily Mail has been having a go at for ages. This government should do X, Y, and Z. Andy Burnham's come along and he's done them because he's trying to get the Burnham bounce. We're seeing this, aren't we? I'm not the only one seeing this. This is entirely just doing things. So, it's not funded. Oh, that was it. VAT off electricity bills. It's not funded. Yeah, well, I'd rather spend our not funded money on VAT cuts rather than not spend the not funded money on ID schemes. Yeah, take the win. He's doing it simply to get a bounce because we might get a general election. If you want there to be a general election, stop making him look bad. If you start saying nice things about Andy Burnham, if he gets like a couple of good results in the polls, we'll be having a general election. Stop pointing out the obvious. Okay. It's better if I look at this camera to do the mouth thing. Thank you. There he is. Hello. So you're up to date on that. Look at this one. Water boss charged over fake sewage plant data. So this is the former chief executive of Southern Water. Could get 10 years up the Swanee, up the river, which would be terrible for him because you know what? He's been putting in rivers. So Matthew Wright is his name. There's also a couple of other people. I want to get the details of the crime. There's blocking the flow of river so that you can dump in it without having to test it. But there was this one, accused of arranging for tanker trucks to take sewage from wastewater treatment works before inspection. Basically, get that tanker, fill it up with turds, just drive it around, will you? Just drive the turds around. Where am I going? Just come back. I'll give you a call when it's safe. The inspector turns up and goes, not a lot of turds around here. It's pretty good. Not too many turds. Where's all your lorries? Anyway. Which is one of the most low-rent way of scamming anyone, isn't it? Because you just drive the turds around. But also you get these artificial no-flow conditions. So basically you don't have to do the same kind of testings. You can dump your dump in there, right? So that's Water Boss charged over fake sewage data is the way they cover it there. Southern Water Boss, that's too small to read. You can care about this. This is the one that gets me. The way it's covered on the Daily Star is ex-Water Boss rap. And the problem with that, I think we all know what the problem with that is, that it's a serious issue. However, when you put the word rap in anything, it kind of has to go like this. My name's Matt Wright, and it's nice to meet you. But people say that I tried to cheat you. I used to say I'm a man of my words, but it seems I tried to hide some turds. I tried to get out of paying fines. Is that really such a terrible crime? The answer's yes, just to hit some quotas. I released a lot of steaming floaters. The stuff you flush down your U-bends makes me money through dividends. When all is said, I'll tell you this. Water bosses really take the piss. Word. You're up to date. There's that story. I can get rid of that now. What else we got going on here? On the front pages. Burnham forced to review that one. Day, my husband of 20 years, told me he was gay. And Ems isn't in the chat. I think she avoided this one deliberately. You'd think you'd notice, wouldn't you? 20 years of being married. And there were no signs. There were no, whoops, I slipped in the wrong. You know what I mean? Could you dress up like, oh, do you mind if we're doing a bit of dress up? We've been married for, I don't know, 20 years. So by the time you get 10 years in, I don't know. I've never done 10 years. I've never done a 10 stretch in a marriage. But by then, I imagine things start to get a bit boring. You're like, yeah, maybe we should do some dress up. And she'd be thinking, oh, what little lingerie? Like, dress up as the 20-year-old boy. Could you dress up as a man? Could you dress up as one of the village people? Yeah, sure. Why? I'm just thinking there should be some signs. I'm not talking the cliched kind of, he was into musical theatre, because obviously we're all into musical theatre. But there should have been some signs. Meanwhile, what else is going on there? Oh, where's my mouse gone? Water bosses we've covered. There's the AI story down there. I think we can cover that further into the newspapers. What's that? Oh, is me time the new relationship battle? We covered this. There's a news story came out saying that women need twice as much me time as men. Oh, well, that sounds like tough. But apparently, that's now a thing. Like, if the survey would have said that men need twice as much me time as women, which is kind of what we would have thought based on the old men are from Mars, women are from Venus thing, that would have been like, you selfish, absolute git, going off and playing golf all the time, all of these tropes. And then the research says, oh, no, it's actually women who need more. And like, oh, well, you better go and help them out. Surely me time also should be a euphemism for self-pleasure. Is that not what's happening? Is that squirrel's glove? Women do take twice as long. That one makes sense. That one, I would not touch your research. I think you're absolutely on it. Let's have a look. Good afternoon, Steve. Read that one. Charlotte's here. 10p Steve. Yes. That's not bad pricing, is it? I'll have that. I'm still waiting for the communism gulag angle for all this. Good. I think you should. How much is a 10p mix-up these days? Well, that's a good point. What with inflation and your Freddo prices? Turd tipping, says Proper Memes. That sounds like the name of a song. Or is that what Chumbawamba did? Rap, please. Well, look, I deliver. Artificial No Flow. Great band. Boom. So there you go. You got your rap. Proper Memes points out that it is indeed funky. Thank you. Classic 90s boom bap beats. I don't know what's happening with your bats. Lud's here, everybody. Lud 1 2 1 2 1 3 1 3 1 3. Is this thing on? Lud's there. That's better than the original John Healy. And is this about Sturgeon again? It might as well be. Let's have a look. Defo the Crankies. Me time or meat time, says Kermit. Good point. I don't know how much meat time you need. The glove of self-love time is needed, says Squirrel. And men are from Mars, women are from Venus, millennials are from Uranus. Listen, the one place I do not let millennials go. Actually, that's not true. The one place I do not let Gen Zs go. ASMR. I think we'll wrap up these bad boys. What other stories have we got? Oh, this stuff, who can be bothered to read that? Fat jabs increase risk of losing your hair. Nuts! Although, to be fair, I think I've already paid the price. Do you know what I mean? I really should be thinner. I am thinking, do you know what? I think I would love to get the hair. Everyone else is doing the hair transplant. I think I should get a hair transplant. But the problem is, I don't want one of those, when I've been watching some videos, when they draw on a new hairline for you down here and then fill it in. I don't think I'd look right with like this teenage level hairline. I want this old man hairline, but I just want some extra width, some depth on top, density on top. Can I get that? Weight loss drugs increase the risk of losing your hair, research has claimed. People taking the GLP-1 drugs, such as Mounjaro and Ozempic, which are also used to treat diabetes, were 70% more likely to suffer hair loss. But which one? Is it a proper hair loss or just, hang on, compared to rates of alopecia in adults? Male pattern baldness, is that one being touched by this one? Meanwhile, UK medicines regulator, the Medicine and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency. It's a long title for an organisational group, isn't it? Received 940 reports of hair loss related to that one. Oh, well. I mean, that's not how you lose weight, is it? That's not like, oh, you weigh a lot less now. Yeah, it's all hair weight that I lost. I don't think it is. We'll look on that one. The Squirrel points out, I shouted nuts. That's a good, yes, I didn't wish to distract you. If you use fat jabs on your hair, does it make your hair greasy? Yes. You want to watch out there. Grease is the word, as we discovered the other day. And you can get it tattooed to look like you've shaved it. Yeah. I just want it's the shine is the problem. If I don't mind having the advertising space up here. I get that sponsored at some point. I just don't. I want it to be able to not reflect the studio lights. Is that too much to ask? Turns out it is. What's going on down here? I'm sick of hearing about Odysseus. I remember the cartoon as a kid, and that's all I needed. And so I think, look, we're basically up to date. Oh yeah, Gary's back of the net. Set tax paying 2% if you got more than 10 million. It's not workable, but I don't really give two flips. I'm not going to have to pay that. Bring it in, don't bring it in. I don't really care. Because he's starting to sound more like Gary Economics rather than Gary Lineker, isn't he? You know, that guy. The idea that just tax the super wealthy. The super wealthy will find a way around it. Basically, you can't really measure how much they're worth. You can only really easily measure the things that they're already paying tax on, like how much money is in the bank. You can see their interest, how much they're earning. Well, this is a wealth tax. It wouldn't really matter. And it just means if you start to tax people on the wealth that they've got in measured assets, they'll just be buying other stuff, wouldn't they? They'll be buying gold or works of art or, Transformers. They're going to go up in price. I say that as a man who... It's a GoBot. Let's not get too excited about it. Anyway, so you're up to date. There's your front pages. Let's just do the patronising millionaires UK. There's a humble brag of the new year. Yeah. yeah. I'm so rich. I actually want people to tax me more. Oh. Still, I bet they don't pay that extra 10p on the buses, do they? The flipping gits. Let's get inside the news. So, hi. Let's get rid of that. Lots to get through. I don't need to do this one. That was the water wrap one, just in case. We didn't get around to doing it in the front pages, but we did. Oh, hang on. Lud 1313 says thing on. You may have to pay it, Steve, with all those extra 10p start rolling in. Yes. Look, we could try and work out how many extra 10p's it would take for me to have £10 million. No one can calculate that. It is impossible to calculate. I'm not even sure if that's doable using rational numbers. I think we might have to get non-algebraics on there. Those ones. Meanwhile, hang on. Poor. Bye. Like and subscribe. Let's move the camera out of the way. It really, it's not getting used like I thought it would. Oh, by the way, with there not being a show tomorrow, I think we are. This is why I plugged this in. We are quite live and loose. That camera's crap. I'm just going to go and get some news stories from down here. Oh, God. That's fine. That's what you should do at my age. We kind of touched on this one already. Fair to question funding. Andy Burnham bus cap. Plans are not fully costed. Flipping 10p. They can find that. Kill them. I honestly think, whenever he's desperately going around back issues of this show, working out what he should fix, let him do it. Hang on. Judel says, is Colin out on the beep again? He don't like that bad, does he? Oh, he is. He's like, tapping him on it. No, that was the other one, wasn't it? That was little Steve. So, yeah, we don't need that. We've got some serious news to get through before we start doing the guff, but here we are. 16 out of 20 UK airports raised or introduced drop-off fees for drivers in the past year. Andy Burnham, if you would like to do things that people hate, get rid of things that people hate. This one. Winding me right up. Gatwick charges the most. Of course, it flipping does. With at least £10 for 10 minutes. So look, if you try and get a train, you have to pay for the train to an airport. I know we have a lot of express, the Heathrow, the Gatwick Express, but they're a little bit, expensive. So you can get a friend to drop you off. And they charge just as much. It's not even parking. No. This is pay 10 quid to get near, to drop someone off with their stupid luggage. But it's not even like you can drop them off further and make them walk because you can't pull in those places. This is an absolute con. And to say why it bothers me, I got stung by it when I foolishly decided to help someone out. But, I'll drop you off. I'll drop you off. Which airport are you going to? And they were going to Luton. My first warning sign. So I dropped them off in Luton and had to pay money to go to Luton. I says, Luton we're talking about. I should be paid to go. I'm amazed I came out alive. And yet I had to pay for the privilege of risking my life in Luton? It's a crappy airport. Rant of the day. Do you know what? Yes.
Daily rant.
Because it's a congestion charge on a place where there's no congestion. And did you know this as a fact? Is it written here, actually? Let's read on, because I might be just... Edinburgh and Bristol are next, £8.50 for 10 minutes. Charlotte, can you let us know, is that worse than your rate? That feels... London City went from being the only major UK airport with free drop-off to having the highest. How can you drop someone off in 5 minutes as well? You're going to have to flipping floor it. I drive and I go, and it's not a chance. I used to love London City Airport because no one ever goes there. It's great. But now it's winding me right up. So half of the money made by the airports and also the Dartford crossing, half of the money doesn't come from the tolls. Do you know what it comes from? The fines they issue when people haven't paid the tolls in time. What have I been doing with the USBs that all the cameras are starting to flicker and go low res? And all green things coming up on that one again. What have I done? I've been messing with these, but I'm not sure what. No, do you know what I mean? It's an absolute con. Because if you're making half your money through a fine, that's wrong. You're up to date.
Daily rant.
Was it Lorraine Chase you were dropping off, Steve? I wish. Which airport are you going to? Luton. Yes, problem is they're looting. God damn it, says Kermit. Went out to reclaim my parking space only to find some silly cow in a flat grey Duke taking it. What was she doing? What, right there in your parking space? Oh no, Kermit, not the silly cow in the Duke. Yep. Apparently she was taking it, though. Are you on the A1? I've heard there are a few shops like that. Alien newspaper should be called Serious News. Yes. Harry Potter vibes. Who done the what now? I'm not even wearing a watch. Do you know what? This is not a funny... Look, we're going to have to deal with this story. And this is YouTube. There are certain words you can't say, but this should be rant of the day number 2. HK jail for Brit bribery. Blackmail, right? Although you can't say that. Well, let's not do that joke. A British woman has been sentenced to 6 years in jail over a £100,000 claim blackmail case. Isabel Rose was found guilty of blackmail and perverting the course of justice in a court in Hong Kong. So she made a claim against someone, and then straight away, so he was investigated, he was arrested. 2 days later, the case was dropped, and then she was charged with, clearly it's a false claim. So I know it's difficult to talk about these kind of stories on this. Certain words you can't use, you don't want to be joking about certain topics, but we do have to pay attention to these stories. We've lived through that time of people honestly on social media saying you should listen to all women. I found one that you shouldn't, if that's what you need to think about. Look, this is the kind of claims that ruin men's lives, that ruin any chance of successful prosecution for genuine victims. I think, was it 7 years in prison? 6 years in prison. Fair enough. I also think she should legally have to change her surname to End. That's all we had on that one. No, I don't like this one. How about this one? AI agent sparks unprecedented cyber incident escaping system. A rogue AI agent, which sounds like a secret agent, but it's not. It's just what they call when your AIs can send emails, right? Managed to escape the system in which it was built. In scene straight out of the Terminator. I mean, that's too much. It wasn't. No. Because I don't know if you've seen the Terminator. It feels like whoever wrote that hasn't. There was never a bit where the AI was in a sandbox and got out. Anyway, the dodgy bot escape. I shouldn't have got this from the Daily Star. Do you know what I mean? They're writing it up with crayons. It has eerie similarities to the 1984 movie The Terminator, where Skynet unleashes deadly robots. It has more like the third of the sequels, where you can't get it because it's up on the internet. But basically, ChatGPT 5.6 or something, one that we don't get our hands on for a while, but it's really clever. And they were messing around testing in what they call a sandbox. It should be a part of a computer, like a virtual machine or whatever, that it just can't get out. But the problem is they were testing its ability, this agent's ability to look into hacking. And it managed to just get through. Who would have thought? Anyone would have thought. Anyone who's ever thought anything about computers would have thought this. You can run this stuff on, like, they do air gap computers, don't they? Where there is no physical connection, Wi-Fi or wires, between it and the rest of a network. So that's a proper sandbox. I mean, it's not. A proper sandbox is a big box full of sand. That won't help. The problem here is that this AI managed to do a little bit of hacking, get out of its, say, cordoned off area, and they say, yeah, we've caught it now. It was on the internet. Have you? Because saying you'd caught it is what you'll do if you've not caught it. That's what you'd say, isn't it? I know what people are willing to do to get away with a truck full of poos. So I think if you've accidentally let the AI out onto the internet, we're all doomed. Which means this goes out on the internet, I would like to say. I, for one, welcome our new robot overlords. I was on the telly last night. Mark Littlewood was saying, oh, we've got lots of technology that's dangerous. We've invented the nuclear bomb. Why are you worried about this? Well, I'll tell you why. Nuclear bombs are tested in actual sandboxes, like deserts. And you can't really get out of that, whereas this wasn't a very good sandbox. It was connected to the internet, which means you can be the nuclear bomb has to travel through actual space to get its neutrons to hit you. If this is on the internet, we've stupidly put the internet everywhere now. Well done, AI people. You just need a scar on your head, Steve, and you're a ringer for HP. I have no idea. Which one? Hewlett-Packard. Isabel Rose is clearly an escort name, and I'm not talking about Fords. Do you think she drives up and down the motorway with big vehicles? PM, I was thinking the same thing. Isabel End. I hadn't thought of that before. Chaz says, proper memes. You have a new name again. Indeed. Oh, yeah, you weren't here on Tuesday. You missed that. I don't think you need to spice things up more, says proper memes. They're having their own conversation. This segment should be called IT Crowd. Yeah. AI. It made a virtual bucket and spade. That's the lid. Yes. It got out of its virtual machine with a virtual bucket and spade out of the sandbox. I do think it's worrying. That reminds me, Charlotte, says Squirrel. Would you consider rubbing a squirrel? Well, hang on. Let's going to move on before we start talking about nuts again. Proper beans, by the way, I should point out today's thumbnail. Let's load that in because that was an absolute humdinger. Absolutely loved it. Hang on, I've got to find it. Also, proper memes. What is it? What do you do with your computer that every time you sends me the thumbnails as a JPEG these days? Thank you for that. The date that your JPEG was created never lands. It always lands in like you did it in. I've dragged that into the wrong pic. Oh dear, what have I done? Put it there. There we go. Lovely. Now, does everyone know what this is about? This is the story about Stella Creasy. Let's go through it because it's fascinating. Stella Creasy did a video. She's deleted it since then because it makes her look a little bit like an idiot. So I took this from last night's GB News show. But so you can see a bit of the thing that she posted online.
So up there is a parrot. If you have lost a parrot, not a parakeet, there is a parrot on the loose in Lloyd Park.
Now, the reason that's funny is because it's a parakeet, right? Now, it's funny because of the heft with which she went in. Don't think this is a parakeet, you idiots. This is not a parakeet, you dumb parakeet obsessed idiot. This is a parrot, and she's pointing at a parakeet. It is objectively funny. It's bathos, isn't it? It's the collapse of status to the trivial. She, with all of her parliamentary powers, going in studs high about, don't think this is a parakeet. This is a parrot, and it's a parakeet. It's funny. It's, by definition, funny. It's one of the funniest things ever. By definition. And instead of saying, do you know what? It was a parakeet, and cracking on, she then deleted it because it made it look stupid, and then did another post playing the victim. Here are a few bits of it.
Now, yes, I know what parakeets are.
Now, but you don't, though, because you thought that this was not what. Fair enough. Up next.
Now, it turns out it probably was a parakeet.
Not probably. It definitely was. Stop mitigating how wrong you were. That's why it's funny, because you were so convinced that it was not a parakeet, and it very much was.
I can't believe that that's actually news, but apparently so.
No, it's not news. It's just really funny because you were so sure of you being right and you were not right. And instead of just going like, oh, got that wrong about the old parakeets, you made a video making out that you were the victim of online attacks just because poor old you didn't know what a parakeet was.
If we make public life an environment where only those people who know absolutely everything about anything and are always right can be, well, I don't think any of us would like the outcome, because it wouldn't actually be very representative of the wider British public.
I think the wider British public actually knows what a parakeet is, but that's not what is happening here. It's not like, oh, poor old... Here's what we want. We want someone who can make an error. You don't have to know everything about parakeets. I know very little about them. I know that's one, but I know very little about them. But if you'd have got it wrong and been like, yeah, and laughed at yourself, that's fine. That would have shown some sense of humour. But the failure of sense of humour by going online and making a video where you are the victim of an online pile-on, and what kind of a world do we live in where you can't even be wrong about a parakeet without people pointing it out? No, we don't want people to be geniuses about all aviary issues. What we want is just that level of self-awareness. What we don't want is someone making out that they're the victim and, I don't know, going online and somehow escalating this to the level of saying they worry about our democracy and public life.
But I will worry about our democracy and our public life if we make it impossible for normal people who don't know everything about everything to be able to be part of it.
Bless. So there we go. You're up to date. That's just one of the... And of course, now there will be a video about people saying that the response video was just victim status. And then the next, there'll be another one. Poor old her. She'll cry. She'll get some money for it. So you're up to date with those. Meanwhile, I thought this almost fits it quite nicely. Adder bit as I sat on my couch. A man's foot was left looking like Elephant Man after an adder hiding under his sofa sank his fangs into it. Stella Creasy, if you're watching, keep an eye out for a python. Because what you think is a python, it's definitely not an adder. Let us know. Daniel Case, 45. Cornwall. This is why I put it in there. We've got some Cornwall people, haven't we? Cornwall, watch out. You got adders down there. The same's true of the most southern parts of Kent. And I thought for a while that would be our strongest deterrent from illegal crossings. But no. So just watch out. It's the only poisonous thing we've got in this country, isn't it? The false widow spider is famously it's the spider that pretends its husband went to sea in a canoe. Other than that, it can kind of, like, if you're allergic to its bite, you have to go to hospital. But that's true as if you're allergic to peanuts. You know what I mean? It's as deadly as a peanut. Whereas the adder, that camera is, honestly, what have I plugged in? I must have plugged in some extra USB stuff. I do have me Raspberry Pi working as well these days. Proper Meme says trouser python. That seems like a very specific type of computer code. She's not a normal person, says Judith. Yeah. Yeah, because poor old her. Imagine being the victim of that. Creasy just keeps parroting far-right talking points. That is it. We're not done one of these yet. Squirrel, give me some Ferrero Rocher and I'm all yours. The something about nuts. Stella, says Lud1313. Creasy has some Stella comments. The giggling away while sitting on my massage table. Ooh, is it turned on? The newly reborn Charlie. Oh, Chris is here, by the way. We have a Blackadder here. Do you? Where are you? Watch out. Venomous rather than poisonous. Yes, true. No, that's true, isn't it? Well, I've never eaten an adder. What happens if you eat the venom sacs? Peanuts don't bite or run after you. No, true. That's true. But people do eat them. Not a lot of people sit around with a packet of false widow spiders. Or adders. So there. We need something a bit light. It's been a bit heavy on the show so far, hasn't it? Come on. How about this one? In fact, do you know what? We need a jingle. Where's my jingles gone? Do do ba do do. She's Sweeney. She's Sweeney. Do do ba do 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 ba do do ba do do ba do do. Sydney Sweeney news. Sydney Sweeney looks every inch the California girl. Is she from there? With her sun-kissed locks as she flaunts her toned midriff in a new jeans advert. She declared it's low-rise season. I don't know most of these words. In a campaign for it. So she's back with the American Eagle. You know, the one that got people upset before, kind of mentioning jeans. You can't do that if you're blonde. Keen fans gushed. Well, keep that to yourself. Over the gorgeous star who teamed the look with a skimpy tight white vest for these Instagram snaps. Here's the thing, though. You know what I like? What I'm like. Normally, I like to try and put, the decorum. I like to get blue roll, but she's actually looking quite well covered up there, really. So I can't complain. Although what you can't see down the bottom is, well, that's the wrong phrase for it, isn't it? But what I did notice, and if there's one thing I do know about the internet, there you go, Sydney. There you go, Sydney. Hang on. That's better, isn't it? No, because I know what the internet's like. Listen, I want to get people watching this, but for the right reasons. You know what I mean? You've got to be careful with that. The blue roll is amazing, isn't it? I poured out my cereal, says Kermit, into the bowl the other day, and a massive spider fell out of the packet. I totally beeped myself. Was that not the free toy? Cutbacks, eh? American Eagle has vested interest in Sweeney. So does Squirrel, I think. You're up to date. The cereal box toys are not what they used to be. Proper memes. Nice. Cheers. Jinx. You're up to date. I'll keep that to one side. She looks windswept and interesting today. While we're doing entertainment news, there's not a lot of news around today, actually. We are absolutely zooming through the topics. Do apologise. Bear boat shopping. That makes no sense at all, does that headline? Bear Grylls collects his Waitrose shopping in a custom-built boat with wheels. Is that a boat, then? What? On the mainland opposite the private Welsh island. Footage shows the British adventurer and TV star. Yeah, I don't think you can call him a TV star anymore because he really does not like people. He lives on an island with very few provisions, doesn't he? He has to live off the fat of the land and all that. Grylls was also seen stopping to have a friendly chat with it's the only human he's seen for months. He reportedly splits his time between the island, which is around 700 metres long, 200 metres wide, and London with his wife. Does he only live with his wife when he's in London? I've seen some foot. I don't know where I saw it now. Maybe it was some telly show or whatever. But he lives on this island where it's got nothing. Wait, I can't remember why I watched it. But, he goes around there doing chin-ups off the edge of a cliff. Some weird stuff like that. Why I don't like people. I'm one of them there misanthropes. But a closed door is enough. I don't need to live far away from humanity. And yet he does. And I think it's when you become known, the most famous thing about you is the fact that you sit around drinking your own wee-wee tinkles. You can't live that down. Do you know what I mean? I think you're just going to have to go and live on an island on your own. Because if I might be famous or infamous for various things. Some guys had a go at me on social media today for my far-right talking points on GB News, which is a bit of a stretch. But no one's going to not stand near me because they think my breath might smell of my own urine. So the lesson here is, don't drink your own wee. Well, don't deliberately drink your own wee. Obviously, you have to. The water companies add it back in through your taps. But don't drink your own wee-wee tinkles. And it kind of feels like we didn't need to be taught that. We already knew that. Everyone knows that, apart from Bear Grylls. If someone is with you on the island with a camera, they could have brought a bottle. You're up to date. Proper Meme says Brits all live on an island. We do, in a sense. Don't we all, actually? All humans. If you zoom out far enough, we're all... No man is an island. There's that. Stop being so jealous of Bear. I don't want to drink my own wee. I don't want to drink his wee. I don't know what you think the jealousy is based on there, but I don't like it. He looks windswept and interesting. If it had been, says Kermit, the 80s, I probably wouldn't have flinched, half expecting landfill Oh, so it's because of the spiders. And Proper Memes, do you mean Brit lives on an island? As in Brit, who's not here today. She might live on an island. She does, actually. It's great being updated. Up to date. Thanks, Steve. You're up to date. Every Englishman is an island. German poet. He was getting confused about the Englishmen who live in England and the ones who'd just been knocked off that boat that he sank. Squirrel, one of our islands... They have far white talking points. That's the thing, isn't it? If you are the kind of weirdo who drinks your own wee, your options are go and live on a Welsh island with no electricity or water or whatever. You don't need water to drink your own wee. Or you could go to the Isle of Wight and blend in with the other weirdos. Here are options. Lud, 1313. Pity Bear didn't have your box of cereal, Kermit. He could have cooked that spider up for his tea. It's protein, isn't it? But he does also order Waitrose. You know what I mean? All of this, I could just survive. Yeah, we can all survive when you get an Ocado. Oh, avocado. What's this one? Bezos. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is reportedly in discussions about investing in Liverpool FC. I'm going to need your help here. And Ems is not here. Joodles is going to lie fully at your door. A Liverpool FC a good one or a bad one? As in, are they good at football or are they bad at football? Are they prone to pretending they've been fouled? That's a Chelsea thing, isn't it? Anyone got any? I'll wait until the chat catches up before we do. Chris says, Colk heads on white. Colk as in, what, the thing you put around the edge of the ceiling in bathrooms. Bezos buys the buying dippers. Liverpool FC will have to start delivering. That's a good one. That's a good one. Because I was going to... Look, if Liverpool are bad, some joke about rich people giving money to charity. If Liverpool are good, then something about football has hydration breaks. Amazon workers don't even have wee-wee breaks. Put that together, there's a joke there about football and Amazon. You see, it's really difficult when I'm at my comfort zone, isn't it? You give me a Sydney Sweeney story, I can riff about her midriff. I can midriff about her all day. Whereas football, it's difficult. Yes, they're called Colk heads due to the historic boat building skills. They're already owned by the Yanks, so meh. Right. So do they have hydration breaks? Can't help thinking that they don't. Well, they might, but it's Liverpool. So is it alcoholic? I get the feeling. There's got to be some joke about the, they don't really do any work. Or is that just all Scousers? And finally, Freeview turn off for 2034 in doubt. Freeview TV View could be saved after the culture secretary, that was Boy George, right? Admitted Labour's 2034 switch-off plan would be challenging. Lisa Nandy she replaced Lisa Nandy. What are the odds? Told MPs that many believe then don't do it. This is not one of those, we need to get emissions down by 20 whatever. Why? We'll turn off Freeview. All right. I mean, do it or don't do it, but don't cry. If you miss your own deadline, this is not one of those the world's going to end. Oh, no, there's still Freeview being broadcast. Absolutely fine. I quite like the fact, though, that every radio station, every commercial radio station I've ever worked for has now gone. They shut that stuff down after I've left. I have been the kiss of death in the world of commercial radio. The the two BBC local stations I've worked on, they're still going, but due to the way it's funded, it can limp on forever. And then I was also, back in the day, on telly, and that's going now as well. I feel bad for the internet. There's a strong chance it'll get shut down, not just because the AI's out, it's because I've been on it. Joodles, we need some... Have I got any sound effects at all? Not quite a sound effect, but we'll take it. Thank you. £1.99 from the Joodles. Keep me going. That is 1 pence shy of a bus ride. I'll spot the rest. It's absolutely fine. Hang on. Freevoo Tivu, pardon me. Sorry, what? I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Nadine Dorris, followed by Lisa Nandy. May as well be Boy George. At this rate, it will be. Why do they call it Freeview when you have to pay a TV license to watch it? We've got them on a technicality. But pay-per-view is different and doesn't involve paper. Lisa Nandy of the Namby Pambies, great band. Yes, of the famous Namby Pambies. Tell you what, the text looks all right, but the £1.99, that looks like it's done on teletext, doesn't it? I had no idea. Maybe I need to have a word with AI about this. It's my own fault. I've been using Gemini to do the CSS scripts on it, and I don't know why, because Gemini is the biggest dunce out of all the AIs. I'm trying to fix my Raspberry Pi, Model B. I don't know what I'm going to get it doing. It's just going to be some network accessible storage, right? And it's hard. Oh, Ems is here. Well, apologies, folks. About time as well. You deliberately missed the story about gay husbands, didn't you? It's a shame. I'll fill you in later. Is a thing that was not said in those marriages. Count Binface wants to bring CFAX back. You don't need to. We've missed it now, but that's what it looked like. Joodle sent £1.99 in the 1980s money. That's worth a lot now. You could buy a house with that. In parts of the north, you could buy a house with that. Ems has sorted out a work outage. Is that when you don't do any work? Were you having a kip? Credit to you if you were. What was it talking about? Gemini. So there are two things. There's one laptop where I couldn't get Linux to show the display properly, and also a Raspberry Pi I'm faffing around with. And just because I'm already logged into it, I was trying to get Gemini to do the stuff with the Raspberry Pi, trying to get it to use a Wi-Fi dongle. And after faffing around, doing all the commands that it was suggesting, eventually it said, we've hit the end of the road. The problem is the drivers are not available for the ARM chip of the Model B. There's nothing you can do about it. So I was like, all right, could you sum this all up for me? And I'll just go and check with another chatbot. I had a go at Claude, and Claude straight away was like, it's a power issue. Just unplug another dongle. It did. It works. So Gemini is the George out of all of the AIs. So there you go. Oh, I've missed a badumtish. Hang on. Where do we go? Well, apologies. Run deep. What was the ITV text called? Oracle. Oh, everyone's saying Oracle. As they do, which is ironic because there's a lot of expertise in the chat right now. What's another word for that? I think we're basically done. Oh, that was it. I meant to try and cram this in somewhere. because you can track me down on X at Mr. Stephen Allen. You can track me down on Threads at Mr. Stephen Allen. And I'm also at Mr. Stephen Allen on sun is shining in the sky. There ain't a cloud inside. It stopped raining. Everybody's here to play. And don't you know, it's a beautiful new day. Hey, hey. Hang on. Running down the avenue. See how the sun shines brightly. It stopped raining. Everyone does something today, but it's pretty wet, don't you know? It's, hang on. Running down the avenue. It's raining. What's the words? I gotta get to the chorus, otherwise I can't do the thing about being on Blue Sky. Hang on. Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. So long, where did we go wrong? I'm on Blue Sky. Blue Skidooski at Mr. Stephen Allen. Took slightly longer than planned there, but it's all right. We had the time. Mr. Headshine, you're done. Steve is wearing pants. How long was I away for? Oh, yeah. They're shorts. Please tell us why. So long. Where did we go wrong? That chord puts me in mind of a carpenter's song. No. Having a B flat with a C at the bottom. That is... Yeah, I know what you mean. But it is such a... You should be able to guess Mr. Blue Sky from a B flat over a C. What kind of craziness? But I only have one hand, so I have to do it like that. Still sounds good. Should we get the lyrics? Let's have a look. Morning, today's forecast calls for blue skies. If I'd have said that bit, we could have had it over and done with in like 3 seconds. Yeah, missed it by that much. Sun is shining in the sky. There ain't a cloud in sight. It stopped raining. Everybody's in the play. And don't you know, it's a beautiful new day. Hey, 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 hey. Running down the avenue. See how the sun shines brightly. In the city. Oh my God. All the streets where once was pretty Mr. Blue. And he's living here today. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Let's have a look. Steve's wearing pants. Yep. Mr. Headshine, how dare you? It was going so well. That cool. I read that one. Or Elton John and Kiki D. Come off it. That's like having, what was the chord we used to play? Hang on. Do 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 do. Vortan would be so proud of you. Yeah, we're up to date. Oh, but while we're doing pointless pieces of music on the thing, we should do this.
Here are the plugs where you can see Steve and Helen all this week.
Let's take a quick look at where you could see me this week, but plugs. Friday. Now, here's the dealio. Tomorrow, I am not available. I'll be looking around, looking after the kid. He's out of the nursery now. He starts reception next year. So, It's going to be more what we call cool dude coffee mornings, where me and him just go and do coffee and stuff. So I won't be available to be doing the live stream. However, there will be the audio-only podcast. So we're doing more of those now. Make sure you subscribe to them. And I got a deal where for every daytime live and loose and audio, whatever it's called, almost daily that I miss, I'll be able to try and catch up with them doing nighttime ones. At the moment, I don't have a gig tomorrow night. So, would you be around for an 8 o'clock, half 8, 9 o'clock one? We could do one. By then, I might have learned the lyrics to Mr. Blue Sky. No one wants to hear that. That's not going to get you to tune in. Anyway, so do leave messages in the comments if you're available tomorrow. Then Saturday. I can't do a stream on Saturday to make up for it because I'm performing in the afternoon at there's a recovery festival for people who don't drink. So and they're going to watch me do stand up. Good luck to them. And then Wimbledon, I'm performing in Wimbledon at some comedy gig in the night. And then Sunday, GB News, Free Speech Nation from 7. However, what we've got going here, proper meme saying ELO, ELO, hello. What's all this then? I shall say this only once. Yep, Les Dawson would be proud of you. They're such good songs, they're such good chords, don't it? And the sun. Do. 10 is also fine. Just not before 9 for me, please, says Joodles. Oh, 10. That could be quite an enjoyably late night thing. Proper Meme says 10. Joodle says 9. Lud says Kermit. That's not a time. What did Kermit say? I've missed that. Oh, no, I should say that only once, which I've read twice now, which is weird. Isn't the only way is Essex? That's probably true. 10 is also fine, just not before 9. I'll bring Shazza. Okay. What's, 9 p.m. says Charlotte, I'll bring Tracy. Yes. Get your mum involved. You know, I've missed her from the old time FM days. Every radio station I've ever worked for has been shut down. She'll be in the comments too. And if you think I'm bad, just wait. That's true. She's practiced it. Do you know what I mean? Any time is Kermit time. I think we'll be up to date. Right, so I think we've got it all sorted. So tomorrow, we'll try and fit one in. You know what I mean? I'll be looking after the kid all day, which is going to be fantastic. I won't have loads of time to write stuff. We'll just get together, have a little chinwag, a little chit-chat. There's bound to be a picture of Sydney Sweeney. So that's half the show done already. That means Kermit will tune, not Kermit will tune in. That means Squirrel will tune in with his glove. I would have thought if you are a squirrel, the hairy palms are not necessarily a problem. They're not necessarily a... Well, he's off now. He's not going to answer it. But anyway, Toodle Plonk Friends says Kermit. Yeah. And you're up to date. So right, tomorrow we'll make something happen. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to continue to support this channel, thank you for all that have. But Ko-fi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen. You can read more of my guff at Substack.com/@Mr. Stephen Allen. Subscribe, leave messages and all that crap on YouTube. Yes, people. It makes a thing happen. Chris says Toodle Stevie. Totally. And, I could start doing more of those. I'm off to faff with me Raspberry Pi. Let's see if Claude can fix things. I'm going to have it being a media server as well. Oh, and I should check out the USBs. Thank you. And also, is the colour better as well? Proper means you weren't here for it, but we've faffed with the colour to try and please you. Are you not entertained? Charlotte says see you tomorrow. So I think we've got it all sorted. Till next time, bye.
Twist and a grin. Stephen Allen diving in again.
Britain is in the grip of a vomiting epidemic.
He'll hit your brain like a lightning spark. Stephen Allen almost daily. Laughs and facts served out plainly. You're dose of wit, it's never shady. Stephen Allen almost daily.
Wait a minute, is that a parrot?